The Earthkind premise focuses on the use of research-proven gardening and landscape techniques to provide maximum plant enjoyment while protecting our fragile environment. Putting Earthkind techniques into everyday practice will help families, businesses, and the community preserve and protect the environment. Healthy landscapes constitute small-scale ecosystems and support many types of organisms, including those that feed on plants. When conditions are favorable for insect reproduction, their populations may increase and reach pest status. When this happens, how should we attempt to gain control? The answer lies in designing and following a pest management plan to reduce the chances for pest outbreaks, detect initial infestations before they cause damage, and use the most appropriate pest control tactics. A pest management plan considers the biology of the pest species and all of the environmental factors influencing pest populations. Integrated pest management is the key component of the Earthkind approach. IPM is the management of pest populations using control strategies that maintain pest populations at levels that can be tolerated by humans in terms of their economy, health, and quality of life. Integrated pest management attempts to integrate tactics with the least environmental and health risks while still having a low impact on beneficial and non-target organisms. It involves modifications of cultural practices to put stress on pest populations to eliminate their damage potential. Implementing IPM strategies involves a series of steps that result in the best management decisions with the least effect on people, plants, and the environment. The first step is to detect early infestation and to identify the species involved. This requires visual inspection of the plant site to determine presence of insects or any signs or symptoms of their activity. Visual inspections will also help to identify site conditions that allow the insects to survive and prosper. Understanding the biology and habits of insect pest species provides insight to facilitate selection of the most appropriate tools for their control. Accurate species identification is necessary to search for and retrieve biological information about the target pest species. The second step involves monitoring the pest populations to determine their pest status. Monitoring involves systemic, regular, and frequent surveys of insect pest populations on target pests. Monitoring helps determine if, when, and where a treatment should be applied. It also helps pinpoint hotspots to target spot treatments and to evaluate effectiveness of pesticide applications and other control actions. Insect traps such as yellow sticky cards can be used to detect increases or decreases in flying insect activity and to identify hotspots and dispersion patterns. The third step is to implement a management plan that uses multiple control tactics. These tactics should be cost-effective and aim at minimizing risks to non-target organisms and natural enemies. A variety of control tactics may be considered, including habitat modification, such as sanitation, elimination of water sources and alternate pest habitats, cultural practices such as bed preparation and crop rotation, mechanical and physical control such as trapping, removal of infested branches and hand picking, and biological control including conservation or augmentation of natural enemies, chemical control, and use of pesticides. An IPM plan can be visualized as a pyramid. The low-impact tactics form the base of the management plan. Emphasis should be given to pest prevention and damage avoidance tactics, including good cultural practices. Biological control and physical or mechanical controls are used next when feasible. Chemical controls may be used as the last resort within a pest management plan. Pesticides should be used only when necessary to prevent or minimize plant damage. use pesticides as the last resort after other control tactics have been considered or tested. Most pesticides contain ingredients that make them toxic, even at low concentrations. Selection of pest control tactics and tools within an integrated pest management strategy should take into account all potential costs and benefits. The combination of tactics with the lowest costs, both monetary and environmental, and the highest benefits will always be the most practical solution. Implementing the pest management plan is the next step. Effective implementation requires staying on a schedule, paying careful attention to details, keeping records of crop history and control practices, and being flexible to modify the plan as needed. The fifth step is to evaluate the management plan to determine how successful it is at minimizing pest problems. Regular monitoring efforts facilitate both before and after comparisons of pest population density and colonization patterns. The last step is to make changes and re-implement the plan. Good record keeping facilitates decision making. Implementation of IPM strategies is a dynamic process and should be based on experience, good information, and objective evaluation of pest control tactics. In summary, the Earthkind approach to pest management integrates plant health and pest control tactics and considers the biology and all the environmental factors that influence pest populations. It starts with accurate pest species identification and using good information when making pest management decisions. This approach may take some time and effort to implement. Remain positive and be patient. In the end, the reward of looking at healthy crepe myrtles is